Anyone, can you please confirm? Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, thank you. Uh, okay, so yeah, thank you so much. So, actually, I'm Surya. I have a total 12 years of IT experience, and out of 12 years, I have 9 years into big data, Hadoop, and Spark with the Scala. Okay, so today I'm going to discuss about big data, Hadoop, Spark, why we are using Hadoop and Spark. So, what is the reason behind that? Why we are using big data? I mean to say Hadoop and Spark. Okay. So before going to explain about this big data, Spark, Hadoop, and all these things, first I want to discuss about data. Okay. So nowadays, data is very important. So first of all, I want to discuss about data. So any idea about data? Any I mean to say any definition about data? I mean to say data is a information. It is a employee information, or it's a department information, or it's a mobile information. Okay, so mobile data, or it's a television data, or it's a TV data. Okay, so basically data is a information, but nowadays we call it as data is a currency. Why we call it as currency? I want to give few examples, guys, so that you guys will better understand why we call it as data is currency. So first one is Amazon. Wherever the data it is, I mean to say, data size is large. Those who are maintaining a large amount of data, okay. So those 100%, those people are millionaires and billionaires. In a recent Forbes list, the world richest person in the world is Amazon. He is the second richest person in the world. Okay. So here what happened? How the data got generated daily? Suppose, for example, in your mobile, you want to purchase few items through Amazon. What we need to do, first of all, first we want to install Amazon app from Play Store. After that, 100% you want to register into that particular Amazon app. So what are the details you need to provide? That is 100% your email address and your password. Once you have successfully registered, you can able to purchase the items. Once you have purchased the items, after that, the before billing, you want to provide your shipping address. That is also your personal information only. And after that, for payment, either you can use credit card or debit card or UPI ID or net banking or phone pay, Google Pay, anything, Paytm, anything. So here also you can provide your details. That is called so day by day data it is generating very huge volume of data it is generating, because Amazon not only in US people only, not only using Amazon app. UK people, Canada people, India people, Sri Lanka, there are so many country people are using Amazon. So that's why they are maintaining or they are generating more data day by day. Not only Amazon Prime. Amazon is different, Amazon Prime also. Amazon Prime, and those who are maintaining the all Amazon users are not using Amazon Prime. Only few users are using Amazon Prime. That information also they can maintain. So that's why first one is data is currency. So here what you can do, you are providing your details and as well as your transactions. You can done one transaction or two transactions or three transactions. Okay, data is also generating and also you done it transactions also. So that's why Amazon is a one of the, here the data it is currency. And the second one is I call it this is geo. So nowadays everyone is using service provider, geo service provider, right? So in this geo service provider, that is mobile data, it is also a data, mobile data. Suppose for example, if you want to purchase 2 months plan or 3 months plan, 2 months plan it is equal to 399, or 4 months plan is, sorry, 3 months plan it is equal to 599 or 699. So they will provide daily 1.5 GB or 1 GB or 2 GB. Based on this 1.5 GB, 2 GB, 1 GB, your plan amount should be changed, right? So that's why here also it's a mobile data. And the third one, suppose for example, you are working in one company. Suppose for example, you are working in TCS. If you want to move out from TCS and you need a job, new job, you are searching for new job. Before that, you know how to process different kinds of data, that is structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data, and also streaming data. You know how to process all these data, right? So if you can attend any interview easily, you can crack that interviews because you know how to process that data with various kinds of data. Then you have a they will give an they will release an offer letter with whatever the amount you want, whatever the package you want, everything. Nowadays everything it is related to data only, everything it is related to data only. Okay, so that's why nowadays we call it as data is currency. And now few more, I want to give the few more details about data. After 1970s, the data size is very less, it is in the form of KB. Okay, how to process this data and how to store this data? For every data we have two things: process plus storage, right? So process plus storage, how we can process the data and how we can store the data? By using Excel sheets. So in this Excel sheets, suppose for example, what type of data we can process. Suppose for example, it's a student information. So for every college, suppose you are studying currently BTech 4th year CSC group in your college, total three group. I mean to say A section, B section, and C section for 4th year CSC branch. So each branch contains, sorry, each section contains 60 students. Total how many students are there? 180 students. What type of data you can store? That is student ID, student name, student father name, and which section, which branch, and in the month of June or July or August how much they have paid. And after that, suppose the examination fees or the semester fees is 60,000. Suppose you guys are paid in the month of July 30,000, the remaining amount. So this type of information they can store in Excel sheets. Suppose for example, how to process the data in Excel sheet? The summation of all the fees details. Suppose 180 students, 180 into 30,000. So the remaining 30,000, how much? So that is process the data. So this is very less data. After 1980s, the data size is much more bigger. It is in the form of MB, that is megabytes. Okay, so here how we can process the data? Here we can call it as programming language or technology, that is Java or .NET. So how to store the data? RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, like SQL, MySQL, etc. Okay, after that 1990s, the data size is much more bigger. It is in the form of GBs, that is gigabytes. How we can process the data? MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence, Oracle BI, that is OBI. Okay, and how we can store the data? Netezza, Teradata, etc. Okay, Okay, this much data is okay, but after 2000s, day by day, the data size is increasing day by day. Terabytes, petabytes, yottabytes, zettabytes, yettabytes. Okay, so this data day by day, it is increasing. That is a huge volume of data. It's a huge volume of data. This huge volume of data, we call it as big data. So what is big data? Big data is a technology? No. So few people are having a few confusion here. So big data Hadoop developer. Big data is not a technology. Big data is a problem statement. For every problem statement, we have a solution. That solution we call it as Hadoop. Hadoop we call it as technology. Hadoop is a technology. So here, based on the data, the tool should be changed, right? Suppose, for example, you are in Hyderabad location. From Hyderabad, in Hyderabad location, SR Nagar, you are available in SR Nagar, or you are staying in SR Nagar. From SR Nagar to Amirpet, it's just a 5 minutes journey. So either you can use by walk, or you can use by cycle. You can reach to your place because the distance is very less. Suppose, for example, if you want to travel from Hyderabad to Bangalore, the distance size is much more bigger. So that's why we can use either car, either bus or bike or a train, anything. Suppose, for example, if you want to travel from Hyderabad to Bangkok, so how you can car, bus, bike? Not at all. We cannot use. So by flight only you can use because the distance is much more bigger. Suppose, for example, if you want to go to space, how you can go to space? You cannot go by cycle, walking, or car, bus, anything, nothing you can use. Only you have only one option, that is rocket, because we don't know how many kilometers, we don't know, right? So the same way here also, based on the data only, you can use the I mean to say tool. Okay, so here the data size, it is increasing day by day. So that's why Hadoop is comes into the picture. Now we need to check. Now we need to discuss why RDBMS cannot handle this much of data. Why Hadoop is handle this much of data. That is we can discuss now. RDBMS versus Hadoop. RDBMS versus Hadoop. Okay, so here I want to talk about two things. First one is vertical scaling, and second one is horizontal scaling. So what is the meaning of scaling? Scaling, it is nothing but add or remove components. What components we need to add? I will tell you. Okay, first one is vertical scaling, right? So in this vertical scaling, we have only one single system. In this system, we have a CPU. In this CPU, we have few components are there: RAM, hard disk, processor. At the time of system, you have purchased the system. The configuration of the system is 4 GB RAM, 500 GB hard disk, and i3 processor. Okay. Suppose, for example, after 1 year, your data size is increased from 500 GB to 2 terabytes. What you need to do? You need to increase your RAM from 4 GB to 8 GB, 500 GB to 2 TB, that is hard disk, and i3 also from i5. Suppose, for example, after 2 years, the data size got increased from 2 terabytes to 10 terabytes. What you need to do? We don't have that much option, because we have only some limitations only there, because only such volume of RAM or such volume of hard disk only we can able to add, otherwise we can't. So that's why this vertical scaling, it is 100% is not suitable for big data. Then what is the next one? The next one is horizontal scaling. The next one is horizontal scaling. Okay, in this horizontal scaling, one in this horizontal scaling, we can use a few things, that is nodes, n number of nodes. That is, suppose for example, if you want to process 6 terabytes of data, I need 3 nodes. Okay, what is the meaning of node? So node, it is nothing but, suppose for example, this is node 1. Node, it is nothing but CPU. What is CPU? It's a system. Node, it is equal to system. So how many systems I took? Total 3 systems. For in a real time scenario, we call it as nodes, not a system. So 3 nodes we need for 6 terabytes of data. Suppose for example, in future the data size got increased from 6 terabytes to 12 terabytes. So again 3 more systems, 3 more nodes I want to add. So that's why Hadoop, there is no limitations for this number of nodes can be added. Okay, so that's why all these nodes are connected to one single network. That network we call it as a cluster. That network we call it as cluster. Now you have one question. So how we can uh, from where exactly we can provide, I mean to say, we can get this cluster, where we can get this nodes? I will tell you later. So now Facebook is using 40,000 nodes cluster. Google is also using 40,000 nodes cluster, because they are generating a lots of data. They are generating a lots of data. So here one more thing is, not only Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, all are maintaining by the, all data maintaining by the Facebook only. Whenever you want to open the WhatsApp from Facebook, Instagram from Facebook, right? So I don't know how many people are observed or not. Everything is a every data should be maintained by uh, Facebook only. Okay, so that's why here in our real-time scenario, suppose for example, if you are working for TCS, in TCS Hadoop project, suppose for example you are working for Hadoop project, mostly they can use 100 nodes or 200 nodes or 300 nodes. But no, I mean to say, this much of data they cannot give the outsourcing. So Facebook, it is not giving this outsourcing work to other companies. No, Facebook only maintaining this much of data. Facebook only process this data. Okay, so that's why here there is no limitation, n number of nodes we can add. So that is the beauty of horizontal scaling. That's why Hadoop is a processing. Hadoop can easily processing. Hadoop can easily store big data, that is huge volume of data. Okay, is it clear guys? Is it clear why RDBMS cannot handle big data and why Hadoop can handle big data? Is it clear? Can you please respond through chat or any okay, cool. Okay, so next I want to give few more things about RDBMS versus Hadoop. Okay, so what are the drawbacks of RDBMS? So by using RDBMS, suppose for example, this is our world. This world, the 20% of the data we can able to process by using RDBMS. Only 20% of the data we can process by using RDBMS. What type of data we can process and store? Only that is structured data. What are the examples of structured data? Anyone, can you please give the examples of structured data? NoSQL also solves the problem of big data, right? Which we cannot exactly. I will tell you. Who is this? I will tell you. I will tell you about NoSQL also. HBase, Cassandra, MongoDB, where we can use Akbar. I will tell you. I will tell you. Okay. So structured data. What are the examples of structured data? CSV file. Okay, and text file and tables. So this data we can human readable format. This data it is in human readable format. But the remaining 80% of the data, how we can process by using Hadoop and Spark. By using Hadoop, we can process structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. What are the examples of semi-structured data? Anyone? Semi-structured data examples are log files, JSON, SPARQ, ORC, etc. Okay. What are the examples of unstructured data? Every day we can see unstructured data in our one app. Images, videos, audios, chat messages, everything we can see in WhatsApp. By using Hadoop, we can process all these things. But Hadoop is a batch processing. Hadoop is a batch processing. What is the meaning of batch processing? Suppose your client is Amazon, for example. Amazon, it is there in the market from 2009. Suppose Amazon is your client. So what they said is, can you please process my last 2 years of data from 2019 to 2020? So at a time you cannot process 2019 to 2020 data. So that's why we can divide into the batches. That is from 2019 January 1st to 2019 June 30th, it is one batch. 2019 to July 1st to 2019 December 31st is another batch. So total each 1 year having two batches. So total 2 years having how many batches? 4 batches. So that's why Hadoop is a batch processing. Okay. Hadoop we cannot process a streaming data. So how we can how we can process the streaming data? Okay, by using Spark, we can process structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured data, along with here we can process streaming data. Streaming data. Can you give me an example of streaming data apps? That is live data. Examples are Uber, Voila, Swiggy, Zomato. Okay, so suppose for example, if you want to book a cab or bike or auto by using Uber or Ola, once you have booked a cab in Ola, in your app you got three things. First one is OTP, second one is cab driver phone number, and third one is cab number. Okay, so within how many minutes he will be reached to your place, that you can do, that you can track in lively, right? Suppose after that, once he can reach to your place, the trip got started. So within how many minutes you will reach to your place? You can see the, I mean to say, on the way, is there any traffic jam? Is there? Everything you can track, lively track. So this data we can process by using Spark streaming. Whenever you want to perform a Spark streaming code, or whenever you want to process a streaming data, Spark streaming code you want to write. And also Kafka topics. Kafka is one of the messaging system. Okay, you can read from the Kafka topic, data from Kafka topics, and you can place it into whatever you want, whatever the tables you want, Hive tables, HBase tables, whatever. So that's why Spark is batch processing as well as streaming processing. Okay, that is streaming, it is nothing but live data. So these are the disadvantages or drawbacks of RDBMS and advantages of Hadoop and Spark. Okay, now we can deeply discuss about Hadoop. Who invented or who introduced this Hadoop in the market, in which year? Initially we can use for processing which ecosystem, and for storing which ecosystem, how we can write the coding and everything. Now we can discuss. Okay, now so Hadoop is introduced in the year 2005. Who introduced? That is duck cutting is introduced this Hadoop. Hadoop is also for both processing and storage. Hadoop follows which architecture? Java follows which architecture? Which architecture? Client server architecture. That is request and response. So the same way Hadoop is I mean to say Hadoop will follow master slave architecture. Okay, so here what is master and what is slave? Master machine, slave machine. We have two things. First one is processing, second one is storage. So here we have two things for processing. One is a job tracker, second one is task tracker. Job tracker is act as a master machine, and a task tracker is act as a slave machine. The same thing here for storage. I mean to say name node, data node, and a secondary name node. Okay, so here name node can act as a master machine, data node is act as a slave machine, and the secondary name node is a backup of name node. Now for processing, initially which technology, which ecosystem we can use? MapReduce. Initially we can use MapReduce programming. This MapReduce programming 100% we need to write in a Java. Okay, what type of data we can process? That is structured and semi-structured data we can process. But I want to ask one question here. How many, suppose for example, if we take 100 people, randomly you can choose 100 people, or randomly you can choose 1000 people, how many people are knows Java? Only 15 to 20% people are knows Java. Remaining people are knows how to write a SQL queries. So that's why in 2008 year, Facebook is introduced one component called it as Hive. Hive, by using Hive, we can write MySQL queries. So here, the same data, whatever the data we can process, the same data we can process by using Hive also, with the reference of MapReduce. With the reference of MapReduce. In the same 2008 year, Yahoo is introduced one more component that is called it as Pig. Pig is a data flow language. By using Pig, we can process structured and unstructured. Nowadays, no one is using Pig. Pig is outdated. Pig is outdated. And here, one more component, call it as HBase. That is NoSQL. What is NoSQL? What is the meaning of NoSQL? Hive SQL, MySQL, SQL, Oracle. These are all the SQL queries. What is the meaning of SQL versus NoSQL? SQL, it is nothing but you need to maintain a schema, right? Suppose, for example, if you want to create an employee table, for that employee table, 100% you need to maintain one schema, right? But here NoSQL, no need to maintain any schema. It's a schema-less. What is the beauty of HBase? It's a schema-less because it's a NoSQL. Okay, and also one more advantage is in SQL. What happened is the data should be stored in the form of rows, but schema, Satyajit Banerjee, what is schema? It is nothing but suppose, for example, employee is a table. For that table, ID, name, salary, department ID, 4 columns are there. So first you want to create a schema and their respective data types. ID int, name varchar of 50, salary int, and department ID int. So based on your column name, you have to mention your data type, and also you want to create your schema. Okay, I will show you at the time of use cases once we can start the actual training and use cases. Okay, so here the data should be, we can store in on top of NoSQL. It is in the form of columns. There we can rows, we can the data can be, we can store in the form of rows, but here we can store in the form of columns. I will tell you, I will show you how the data got stored in the columns. And next one is one more component is called it as scoop. What is the meaning of what is the use of scoop? To import and export operations. What is import and what is export? Suppose your source data, it is placed in Teradata. From Teradata tables, you want to import from Teradata to your Hadoop world. So you want to scoop import. Okay. The same thing, once the data got processed on top of Hadoop world and you want to export the same data into Teradata, then you can use scoop export. Okay. These are all ecosystems to process the data. For processing, we can use these tools, but for storage, what we can use? For storage, we can use Hadoop distributed file system, that is HDFS. That is HDFS. The data can be stored on top of HDFS. How the data can be stored, what are the commands, I will tell you. We will learn first. Once the actual training will start, then I will start with Hadoop commands only. How the data we can I mean to say, how we can create the directory, how we can edit the file, how we can create the 0 KB files, everything, how we can copy, move, everything we can discuss. Okay, now, one more component. So previously we have talked about already at the time of horizontal scaling, we have discussed about one thing, that is call it as cluster and nodes. How we can, where we will get this cluster and nodes. So here one distribution, call it as Cloudera. Cloudera is a distribution. Okay. So in this distribution, first of all, what is distribution? Everything I will tell you. Suppose, for example, before Microsoft, if you want any Excel sheets, it is HBase, not a storage. HBase is also for a storage. The data can be stored on top of HDFS only. Akbar, we can store the data on top of HDFS only. How we can store the data, I will tell you. I will tell you how the, not a storage. See, HBase is not a storage. HBase we can use for a processing the data. How we can process the data, how we can store the data by using HBase. Okay, I will tell you, I will show you. Okay, Akbar. Okay, so Cloudera is a distribution. So before Microsoft Windows, suppose for example, if you want to install Excel sheets, or if you want to install Word, that is manually you can do, you can install all these things, right? Suppose once the Microsoft Windows is comes into the picture, just you want to purchase a Microsoft Windows and install into your system, automatically you have a MS Excel sheets, MS Word, MS WordPad, all these are available. The same thing here is without before Cloudera, if you want to install Hive separately, you can install Pig separately install. So once the Cloudera will comes into the picture, what Cloudera will provide? Cloudera will provide a cluster. Suppose, for example, for your project, you need 100 nodes cluster. So that what you can do, you can contact to Cloudera people, boss, we need 100 nodes cluster. We need 100 nodes cluster. Okay, can you pay $10,000 or $20,000? We can provide 100 node cluster along with Hadoop environment. Along with Hadoop environment. So that's why these are the distributions. As of now, in market, in our real-time scenario, companies based on the project, they can provide go and purchase this, go and ask to Ratan Works, go and ask to Mapper, boss, we need 100 node cluster. Can you please provide this? I will pay the amount, and also along with that Hadoop environment also they will provide. Suppose, for example, you have one question in your mind. Suppose if I want to install Cloudera in my system, what is the configuration I want to maintain for my laptop or desktop? So minimum 12 GB RAM is required, because 8 GB RAM you want to give into this Cloudera installations into your system. So that's why, so you no need to install this Cloudera into your system. I have one cluster. I will provide the username and password. In that cluster, we can able to process Hive queries. You can able to execute pig queries, HBase queries, Spark SQL queries. Everything we can able to Hadoop environment should be there for practicing purpose. I will provide one cluster. I will show you now. So this is my cluster. See, suppose for example, if you want to execute Hive queries, first I want to enter into Hive CLA. So see here Hive CLA. Suppose for example, if you want to work on pig, so just if you want to give pig, so it is enter into the pig grunt shell. Suppose for example, if you want to work on HBase shell, so it will enter into the HBase prompt. See HBase prompt. Suppose for example, if you want to work on Spark hyphen shell. So initially Spark is developed by Scala. So that's why we will get a Scala prompt. Whenever you have given Spark hyphen shell, it will enter into the Scala prompt. See, it will enter into the Scala prompt. Okay. So this cluster details I will provide to you, username, password, and host name or IP address I will provide to you. Just you want to install a putty in your system, then you can I mean to say execute, or you can practice whatever the things in our classes, regular classes, you can daily you can practice in this cluster. Okay. Now, so here These are the things we can already discussed. Now Hadoop depends on basically 4 V's. Hadoop depends on 4 V's. What are those 4 V's? First one is volume. Second one is velocity. Third one is variety. Fourth one is veracity. What is volume? Volume, velocity, variety. Suppose, for example, for a new project, initially we can attend a calls with offshore versus on-site calls should be there. That is the requirement gathering step. Suppose, for example, your client is Amazon. Size of the data. First of all, you want to ask a question, what is your size of the data? They can tell my size of the data is 5 terabytes. You want to process 5 terabytes of data. What is velocity? That is speed of the data. So this 5 terabytes of data, it is equal to 2 years of data. What is variety? Variety, it is nothing but whether it is a structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data, or it's a streaming data. You want to ask these questions, and once everything is finalized, you want to execute what you want to start your code and everything. What is veracity? Veracity, it is nothing but inconsistency of data. Inconsistency of data. Suppose, for example, client has provided 10 source tables. In this 10 source tables, one of the table is employee. For employee, velocity, once again, velocity, it is nothing but the speed of the data. So here first we have talk about volume. First of all, initially you can ask a question, what is your size of the data? Size of the data, they said 5 terabytes. Okay, this 5 terabytes of data is equal to, is it 6 months data, or it's a 1 year data, or it's a 2 years data? That is, we call it as volume. That is speed of the data. Is it clear, Satyajit? Velocity and volume. Okay, so employee table having a schema, that is a ID, name, and a salary. So name column value should be Rajesh, Suresh, Naresh, like this. But you have identified inconsistency data like this. Okay, so what you have to do, first initially you want to inform to your lead boss, I have identified this inconsistency data in employee table. What should we do? So initially, after that, lead and your manager should send an email to on-site counterpart. This is what we have observed. Then immediately, what they will confirm, this data, can you please filter it out and you can place it into one error table. This is called it as error data, right? This entire process we call it as veracity. So that's why Hadoop basically depends on 4 things. First one is volume, second one is velocity, third one is variety, and fourth one is veracity. Okay, so guys, any questions? Still have any questions? Can you please ask, so that next I want to discuss about in this entire training what I will give it to you, what I will teach you. Okay, so each and everything. So veracity, it is nothing but, suppose for example, if any data contains junk data or inconsistency data, that data you want to filter it out and you can place it into error tables. Okay, that data we have to maintain in a error tables, because that is not a exact data, it's a inconsistency of data. That process we call it as veracity. Now can you please ask questions, so that, okay, first of all I want to mention the training course, what I want to mention exactly, I mean to say what I want to give it to you, so that you can ask your questions. This entire training I want to divide into two parts: Hadoop training and Spark with the Scala training. In this, first I want to give Linux commands, next HDFS commands, Hadoop architecture, 1.x, 2.x, MapReduce program, scoop architecture and examples, Hive architecture and examples, HBase architecture and examples, Pig architecture and examples. This is part 1. Part 2 is Spark with Scala. Once above one is completed, first I want to start Scala. Scala is a programming language like Java. Next, Spark. So Spark architecture and Yarn architecture. So Spark RDDs. In this RDDs, we want to discuss about transformations and actions. Okay, Spark data frames. So here we need to process CSV data, text data, JSON data, PARQ data, ORC data, Avro data, and XML data. And after that, we want to discuss about Spark with Hive integration. Spark with HBase integration. Okay. Next, how to execute a Spark submit command. Spark submit command. Spark submit command parameters or arguments. Okay. Next, memory management. Okay, we have DAG. We have cache versus persist. Repartition versus coalesce. Okay, and the next project explanation. Spark streaming and Kafka architecture and example. And the next one is okay, interview questions, resume preparation. So in this, all this will be covered. Okay, now can you please ask your questions, whatever the questions you want. Okay.
Hi, can I ask my question?
Who's this? Shiv Singh. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. When you talk about, you will explain the Spark project, okay? Spark integration with Hive, Spark integration with Touchbase, and Spark submit commands and all. Like so is that are we going to create that project in any of the IDE where we are going to write that code to process that, like how the data will be processed into Hive from so basically you get the data in the file like CSV, JSON and all. So it is like from where we have a GL landing area till the processing into the Hive. You will explain it by project. Is there any IDE used for this Scala program? Is that IntelliJ or Eclipse?
Exactly. So I'm using Eclipse. So your question is, yes, I can understand your question. So what is your doubt is, or what is your query is? So in Eclipse, first of all, I want to define a Spark session, okay, or Spark context, okay. So here I can use either RDD or data frame. Suppose, for example, nowadays it's a Spark 2.0 we are using. So everything is a data frame. We are not using any RDDs, but as per in Spark 1.6 version, we can use RDDs. So now your question is, everything should be, I can show you on top of Eclipse. How I can show you? In Eclipse,
So basically, yeah.
Hello?
So my question is that are we going to run through in any creation of jar file and then going to run those?
Wait, wait, wait. See, Shivsing. First, I will complete it. Then you can
Yeah.
ask. Okay. So what I
Yeah.
need to do is first I want to create a Maven project on top of Eclipse. Why we need to create a Maven project? The form.xml, we can add a
Uh-huh.
dependency, right? And the
Yeah.
next. So and the next one is second one is we need to create either RDD or RDD you can convert into data frame, or you can create a data frame and you can apply transformations and actions. Once
Uh-huh.
everything is complete, once everything is complete, we can create a build. So once we
Uh-huh.
can build your project, we can get a jar file. That jar file we can copy into our cluster and we can execute our Spark submit command. Okay. So in this Spark submit command, we have some arguments we need to pass. That is
Yes.
hyphen
Yes.
hyphen master, right? So
Yes. Yes.
the client or cluster. So everything and driver memory, executor memory, driver course, executor course, everything, each and everything I will explain you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So my question, extending my question to this one. So basically, is that can you help me with since it is you are going to use Eclipse? Can you? I'm using IntelliJ. Okay.
Mhm.
So is that can I get support while setting that into instead of Eclipse, if we can do it on IntelliJ? Is that
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, we can.
okay? And one more question I have actually regarding this DAG and all. Is there any kind of since in our project going further, we have to make it airflow actually. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So is that means is there any other classes where we can actually know about
Yeah,
airflow and all?
Shivsing, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, sorry. Actually, I got a call from TCS. So I have recently selected to TCS. So that's why TCS recruiter called me. So sorry about that. Shivsing, yeah, now go ahead. What is your question? Yeah, currently
Yeah.
you are using Airflow. Okay.
Yeah, so basically, since is that we have any, is there any kind of extended session for the Airflow so that we can actually create those DAGs and all in Airflow, or is that is
Shivsing,
yes,
I will differentiate Spark
uh-huh.
DAG versus Airflow DAG. Spark
Okay,
DAG was Airflow DAG. What is a Spark DAG? It is nothing but whenever you want to apply an action, then DAG is
mm.
created.
Yeah,
DAG is created. That DAG we can see on top of resource manager, right? We have an
mm.
application master, we have a job, we have stages. So there we can see all these things, right? Yes or no?
Yeah,
Is that is Spark related DAG. I'm talking about Spark related, but you are talking about airflow DAG. What is airflow DAG? Airflow is one of the scheduler, right? So here,
Uh-huh.
so, hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, airflow is one of the scheduler. Here, what you need to do is you can create a DAX. So in that DAX, you want to write your tasks, right? So
Uh,
somehow you can use Bash operator or Python operator, Spark submit operator. So all these things I'm not handling in this training because that is completely different actually, Shivshin. Okay.
okay.
If you
Okay.
if you want airflow training, if you want GCP airflow training, that is completely different. I'm not including that GCP or airflow in this training.
Uh,
This is completely Hadoop and Spark with Scala only. That's it.
okay.
As
Okay.
you can understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, guys. So please ask if you have any other. And one more thing. Yeah, here one person, Satyajit Banerjee. Okay, I am from non-IT background, working in TCS, but I want to do transition to IT domain. So any preliminary language. Satyajit, Tuition, can you please go on mute? Tuition, can you please go on mute? Shivshin, yeah, thank you. Satyajit Banerjee, I want to tell you one thing. You don't know how to write a MySQL queries. If you know how to write a MySQL queries, that should be better understand in these things. Linux, I will give you how to execute a Linux commands, how to execute HDFS commands, everything I can tell you. But if you want MySQL, if you know MySQL, it is very easy to understand whatever the things I can explain in our training. So my sincere suggestion is, if you want MySQL, I will tell you. If you want yes, Babita, MySQL is enough. 100% MySQL is enough. How to write a queries and all these things, if you know, that is 100%. It's enough. Okay. So Satyajit Banerjee, if you want MySQL things, just to go to no need to go anywhere. I will give two websites. One is W3 Schools MySQL, and the second is Java T Point. I will ping you in chat. W3 schools and Java T Point. Okay, if you can refer these two sites for MySQL, just 2 days or 3 days, you can learn. You can learn. That is not a big deal. So what you need to do is you can register into, or you can attend this training. Parallelly, you can do this SQL queries. So when I can start this SQL queries within 1 week or 10 days, it will take. Before that, I will commands and HDFS, I mean to say Hadoop architecture, MapReduce program, everything it will take almost it will take 7 to 8 days or 9 days. In this 7 to 8 to 9 days, easily you can learn MySQL. Then you can, that is not a problem. That is not a problem. Okay. Is it clear, Satyajit?
Yes, sir. Satyajit here.
Yeah.
So, still, what level of competency we should build up in MySQL? Like, basic knowledge is fine.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I
Basic
go,
basic knowledge is sufficient. Basic knowledge, as of now, basic knowledge is sufficient. Okay.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Another question I have put in the chat. No, um, like I want to do few projects in which, for example, in with related to all these concepts, Hadoop and Scala. So few projects I want to do because I want to do a transition in my current domain in TCS from non-IT to IT. So there's some solid projects I wanted to do and then showcase it in my resume. So
I will,
will that,
I will tell you,
yeah.
Satyajit. I will tell you. So where you will get the project, and which links you can get the project, and everything I will tell you. Okay. So I will provide my email address. Just you can drop me an email. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And one more thing. Currently, you are working in TCS. I will also join in TCS on
Yeah.
September. on
That's
September
what.
1st. Okay,
Okay,
so
great.
available. So you are that you no need to any problem. So I'm also available
Yes.
in TCS from September
Yeah.
1st.
All right. You will be a mentor for me at TCS and outside TCS as well. So that's a good coincidence. You're
Yeah,
joining TCS.
yeah,
Congratulations, sir.
yeah.
Uh,
Thank
one more thing, sir. This one, I have currently the laptop configuration is there. Will there be any constraint in the laptop configuration to do any projects which in big data? It
No,
is
no,
i3 and
no.
4 GB RAM.
4 GB RAM, it is very, very less. First of all, you want to increase from 4 GB to 12 GB so that it's good for
Oh.
your everything, your cluster and everything. Okay.
During the training also, if that
No,
is
no,
not
no.
upgradable. uh,
No. During the training, I will provide the cluster. I will provide the cluster. You
right,
know.
right. After the training, maybe while doing the projects after the training.
Yeah,
When I,
yes.
then, okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Any other questions, guys? Durga Devi, Prakash, Rajkumar.
Hi, this is Rajkumar.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
Satyajit,
few
can you please
questions
go on?
like, hello.
Satyajit, can you please go on mute? Okay, thank you. Rajkumar, can you please go ahead?
Yeah. So before attending this class, right? So is there any prerequisites like something like we have knowledge on Java, we have some knowledge
Nothing.
on some other technology like that?
You know
Uh,
how to write a MySQL queries, right?
yeah.
Yes, that's enough. That's enough.
So basically, right, I'm working in different background. Like I'm from this database administration background for my career actually. So
Okay.
now I'm moved into this data engineering team actually, internal transfer in my company. So for related to that, right? So we have EMR cluster, this Scala, Spark, Python. So this kind of tools are available in my project actually. So this training will help like for me like to understand those areas, or like this you will talk only for Hadoop majorly.
Yeah, actually, majorly I'm talking about in this training. Say, okay, you are talking about EMR cluster and all these things, but this is a
Yeah.
on-premise. This is on-premise cluster. I'm not talking
Mhm.
about any cloud clusters like I mean to say Amazon, AWS, Azure,
Mhm.
GCP. I'm not talking like this in this training, and only I'm giving the cluster is 100% on-premise cluster. Okay, that
Mhm.
on-premise cluster just now I have shown you. This is your on-premise cluster. So
Mhm.
I don't have any EMR cluster or any AWS. I don't have any access for, I don't have any account for AWS, GCP, Azure, and all these things.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, okay, there are two parts, right, in your training. One is like Hadoop, other will be Scala and Spark. Like, so
Yeah.
how much contributions? Like, for example, 100, if you put like Hadoop, like you will spend like 60% of Hadoop and 40% of Spark, or like 50-50, like over this, like,
50, 50, 50, 50, 50.
okay. How much the course duration, like exactly? Can I
So
get that
the
answer?
total the total course duration is 2 months, but
Mhm.
I will take the classes on weekends also, so that maximum within 45 to 50 days definitely I will complete it.
So 20 days I can consider like Hadoop, and remaining 20 plus days like I can consider for
20,
Scala and
20,
Spark, right?
20 days you can consider for Hadoop, and 30 days you can consider for Spark with Scala, because the Spark with Scala, our contribution is 100% more.
Mhm. So, but I
Okay.
heard from someone like the Scala, right? We need to know the Java languages, or
Nothing,
it's like
nothing.
mandatory. Is it like that?
No. See, so some people are talking about it's a Java, it's a mandatory. So that is it's a very basic Java, very basic Java.
Mhm.
It's mandatory. Okay. So
Mhm.
whenever you know what is class, what is object, what is so oops concepts in Java, if you know, that is enough. And if you how to
Mhm.
write a very basic Java program, that is a hello world program. Hello world program,
Mhm.
everyone knows, right? So so
Mhm.
from scratch onwards, I will give the Scala training. You no need to worry about it. Okay. I can
So,
differentiate. I can differentiate what is Scala and what is Java. Everything I can differentiate, and I can tell you. You no need to bother about it. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, Rajkumar?
No, actually, I'm more interested on this Scala and the Spark area because anyway, I am using that EMR. So first off, I think it's not needed, but anyway, for understanding purpose, I can. Yeah.
So you know how to do the Spark the scoop import and Hive queries, how to write and all these things. You know HBase and all these things.
Actually, I attended a few trainings in my company itself long back. Actually, just theoretically, I know this concept
How
nicely.
many years of
Some,
experience you?
I have like 11 years of experience.
Yeah. So theoretical knowledge should be works only for 20% in our real time. Okay. The remaining 80% is if your experience is increasing. Now I have 12 years. Okay. And you have 11 years experience. So people ask about which questions. No need to write any queries or any coding for your experience. Just they will ask a scenario based questions. For that scenario based questions, 100% you need to you 100% work on for those Hive and Scoop and HBase. The theoretical knowledge, it's not sufficient for our experience. Okay, that is 100%. As of now, I have attended almost 10 to 15 interviews. I cracked almost 5 to 6. I have a 5 to 6 offer letters in my hand. So everywhere, each and every company is asking about 1 hour to 1.5 hour each and every interview. Okay, it's not a simple interviews. Each and every component for Hadoop, Scoop, Hive, HBase, and I mean to say MapReduce, Hadoop architecture in Spark, Scala, Spark, everything, each and shell scripting, each and everything they are asking. Okay, so what my suggestion is, I mean to say, see, you can learn from scratch onwards. Here I can give the with the use cases, with the scenario based questions also. I mean to say, I can explain in this training. Okay, that is the next thing is your 100% your I mean to say, whether if you don't, I mean to say, you doesn't know, I mean to say, this Hadoop and all these things. Okay, present I don't want these things, I want to more on Scala and Spark. It will take you will wait for another 20 days, Rajkumar. That's it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so we
this
can get the industrial exposure, like you meant to say. If I complete the 45 days course, like I can get the confident, like to start
100%.
working on my project.
Not 100%, 200% you got a confident 100%. You can attend interviews and you can crack the interviews also. That is for sure. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Next, Durga Devi and Prakash. Sorry for the. Okay. You have any questions, Durga
Hello.
Devi? And...
Yes, sir. I do have few questions.
Yeah. Go
Hello.
ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Actually, I was working in non-IT. Just now, I'm trying to start my career in IT. So that's why I was interested to. That's why I'm interested into joining this course. So just I have seen a lot of people was talking, and you are saying you are sharing your experience, everything. So is it possible to get into Hadoop field for as a fresher?
Yes, that is for sure. If once you can attend this training and you can complete this complete training, definitely you have some I mean to say, you can able to crack interviews as a fresher. Okay. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
suggest any basic courses before starting this Hadoop? Do I need to study some basic courses? Can you
Only
suggest?
MySQL, Durga Devi. Only MySQL. So whatever the whatever the websites I have pinged in this chat, the same websites for you also. So what about the Sachin's question and your question is the same. So you guys are non-IT and you can switch it to IT background. So from non-IT to IT. So just very simple. Just go ahead with this either W3 schools or Java T point MySQL. Then you can learn parallelly 100% within 2 months. You got that. I mean, to say confidence levels. Definitely, it will build. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
See, so what is my way of training is just I want to give the questions or just I want to explain. That's it. No, if with first of all, if you can join my training, I can take your mobile numbers, your WhatsApp numbers. I will create one WhatsApp group. In that WhatsApp group, whatever the questions you can ask, each and every question I will answer. Okay. So this is not a
Okay.
simple training and I can leave it. No, that is my responsibility. If you have any doubts, anytime, just you can ping me in WhatsApp. Definitely, I will help you out. Okay, guys.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Prakash Mothahini.
Yeah. Good evening. Yes. Okay. So my doubt is actually this Hadoop with Spark, Hadoop with Scala, or Hadoop with Java or Python. So these days, like company mainly works in Hadoop with Python. So because even I works with a US-based company. So we have got a project, but Hadoop with Python. So can you just please explain in details? So
Yeah.
where this
Okay, I will tell you. Spark with Scala, most of the people, that is nothing but 50 to 65% of the people, nowadays companies are using Spark with Scala. Okay. US based companies, 20 to 25% of the people are using Spark with Python. Okay. The remaining 10% Spark with Java. Those who are using Java, Spark with Java, banking domains like DBS, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase. So those who are having those who are banking domains, they can use Spark with Java. Okay, 25% of the companies using Spark with Python, but 50 to 65% of the people are using Spark with Scala. Okay, in health domain, retail domain, there are so many domains are there. Okay, each and every domain, almost 65% of the people Spark with Scala only. If you know Spark with Scala, you can easily work on Spark with Java, Spark with Python. The only thing is business logic is the same for each and every programming language. The difference is syntax. That's it. If you know Scala, you can easily learn Python. You can easily learn Java. If you know Java, you can easily learn Scala. You can easily learn Python. One programming language is sufficient. If you want Spark with Python, that you can easily learn. Okay, but in this training, I can give only Spark with Scala because I have a Scala knowledge. Okay, I have a work experience in Scala only. So that's why I can go with the Spark with the Scala.
if we talk about Spark with Scala, so it's like purely a fresh language. It's a pre-request of Java or any language.
What? Can you please come again?
A Spark with Scala, as you said, we're going with this. So do it require any pre-request or like Java concept or something, or it's like all fresh
Yeah.
language?
Yeah. See, whenever I can start a Scala, I can give some information about Java also. Then I can start Scala. Okay.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Or is it good? Okay, guys. So if you are really
one last question for you.
I have one
So
question.
the trainings, right? No.
Shivsing, can you please go on mute? 1 minute. I think, okay. Raj Kumar will ask the question. Yeah, Raj Kumar, go ahead.
So I mean, you are saying, right, some practical sessions and all you will give. So those are all like some real-time based scenario problems, or like what kind of
Yes,
that like?
yes, real-time scenario only. Real-time scenario only.
It's not like hello world or hello Python, not like that, right? Because
No, 100% no.
okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Shivsing, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, what I was asking is actually, is that are we going to use in Spark SQL as well?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So basically, is that and do we have a schema? So basically, as we have this environment like cluster is already there, we can create those Hive tables and we can process through Spark, and we can with the help of Spark SQL, we can generate those any transformation data. Means we can insert that and we can generate some business reports and all like that, right? We can practice that.
Yes, you can. You can.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Guys, I want to tell you one thing. If you are really interested to join, our actual classes will start from tomorrow onwards. Tomorrow 8:30 to 9:30. Our first class will start from tomorrow 8:30 to 9:30. I will start with Linux commands. I will start with Linux commands. Okay. Don't waste our time. We will start the sessions. Okay. So from tomorrow onwards, how many are really interested from tomorrow onwards? Please
I'm
raise
in.
your hands. Okay. Yeah, 3 members. I got 3 members. 4 members. Durga Devi, Prakash Matani, Akbar. Okay, Durga Devi. Okay, guys. From tomorrow onwards, please, we don't want to waste our time. From tomorrow onwards, from 8:30 to 9:30, I will start the session. So we will connect from tomorrow onwards. Okay. Any other questions?
I just have one question, sir. Is that so? Is that to start tomorrow session? Do I have to submit the fees and all tomorrow only, or?
I think you can ask to DURGASOFT people. Okay, I don't know exactly. You can ask, or else you will join tomorrow and you can pay day after tomorrow as well. That is not a problem. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the next schedule? Like if I tomorrow, in case if not possible, then any further scheduled class, or because this is too short, right? I just
Okay. We'll do one thing. Guys, if suppose for example, if tomorrow it is not possible, shall we start from Monday onwards? Monday 8:30 onwards. Is it okay?
yeah, I'm fine with that. At least,
Uh,
yeah.
can you please confirm me through chat from Monday? Monday it is okay for you, everyone. Babita, sure. I got the reference. Babita, okay. Ram Kumar, okay. Durga Devi, okay. Prakash, Shivsing, Satyajit
I'm
Banerjee.
okay.
Okay, good. So shall we start from our batch? Shall we start from our batch from 8:30? Satyajit, I can't change timings from 8:30 to 9 p.m. because I have other work is also there. So that's why I can 8:30 to 9:30. Okay, if anything, I will be there. So we are working in the same company from September 1st onwards. Any doubts, I will share. I will. I mean to say, I will clarify. Okay, that is not a worry. Okay, yeah. Okay, guys, we'll start our batch from Monday onwards. Okay.
So are
Will
you?
you?
So
Is there no class
one
tomorrow?
question.
There is no class tomorrow. We'll start from Monday onwards.
Hey,
And
one doubt. So the timing like 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. right?
Yes, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. only. Yes.
So that's including weekend also, or like what is the class schedule?
See, weekend timings I will tell you. This is for Monday to Friday. Weekend timings I will inform you on every Friday. Okay.
So continuously we have class then. We don't have any holiday weekends or how the
Not like
format
that.
is.
See, Rajkumar. See, continuous classes. Even I'm also can't give you, right. See, right. So maximum Monday to Saturday only. I will break on Sunday. I will give break on Sunday. You no need to worry about it. Okay. Yeah. Any other question?
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for. Yeah.
Excuse me,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Can I know the end of this course approximate date?
Approximate
When it
date.
will?
Yeah. So 30th of August we can start.
Mhm.
September, October. Maximum by October 20th or 30th. I will complete this course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Recordings of class, yes, definitely. DurgaSoft team will provide you guys. No problem for that. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Good night. Have a great day. Bye.
Night. Happy weekend.
Thank you. Same to you.